Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. This week I was planning on doing a discussion about Austin Kleon's Keep Going book, but to be honest, I didn't get around to finishing reading about it, finished reading it rather. There's just a lot of things going on this week, but instead of skipping this week's video, I decided to still produce something. So this week I'll talk a little bit more about my background. A couple reasons, one of which was because one of my friends gave me a lot of good feedback on how my videos were going, saying, hey, you have too much text and you need to be more engaging and more creative and just really show people why you have the passion to actually do this. Well, that's what this episode's about. My name's Kyle. I'm a professional engineer. My background is I have a doctorate in engineering. I have a PMP, MBA, and a few other things. I'm just a lifelong learner. I really have enjoyed everything I've had the opportunity to do. So if it was starting off back in middle school where I was interning at Wall Street Army Institute of Research, or being experienced in entrepreneurship because of my parents, they've owned several companies and somehow I've always been able to be involved with them. So that's basically how I got my start. So I've been immersed in entrepreneurship my entire life. My parents own a photography business. They own a desktop publishing business. They own a tax preparation business. And my wife and I own a travel agency. I've always enjoyed having the ability to learn more about what you do and what you can do to offer value to others, but also I enjoy the safety and the understanding of how I can contribute in other ways. So wear a lot of hats, but in this case, right now I'm wearing three primary hats. Primary number one is I'm an engineer. Work for the Department of Defense. Primary hat number two is I'm a reservist or Naval Officer reservist. I've been in the Navy for 12 years now. And primary hat number three, or I guess my tertiary hat, I am a franchisee with my wife in the Dream Vacations brand. So how do we get all there? Well, going back a few years now. So back in 2011, I graduated from Worcester Polytechnic Institute with a bachelor's in aerospace engineering. I commissioned to the Navy as a pilot. Needless to say, I flew up quite a bit on flight school for the next 2.5 years, where I was able to experience the T-34C, the T-6A, the T-39G8N, and T-45. Now, for all the people that are familiar with the pilot pipeline, it sounds like I wasn't always pilot, because I wasn't. So throughout the first year, I switched to backseater, and then after that, I said that you should be a maintenance officer. So that's what I did. That's where I started trying to figure out what I want to do with my life after that. My goal at that point, or before that, was to be a lifelong naval officer, and then I started reevaluating. I was able to go to the USS Nimitz and become a maintenance officer, where I got to serve along a lot of fantastic people and really learn great things about leadership. While I was there, I decided to continue my education, got my MBA in project management, and continued working just every day, learning about people, learning about leadership, really trying to develop my own style and things like that. After that, I went to an aircraft squadron. I got to see a different aspect of what aviation maintenance was and how everything worked together, understood how operations worked, how maintenance worked, and how everything just needed to coalesce and work together in order to get a product out or a mission flown. So in 2019, I left active duty. From there, I started becoming a full-time engineer. So I worked as a system engineer, avionics engineer, depending on who you ask, and really got to hone my trade and my skill in engineering. During that entire time, I've been working with the Department of Defense. In 2020, I decided to go for my PMP, so Project Management Professional certification, and it was a lot of fun. I got to learn how project management should be done outside of just the coursework that told me how to do it, as well as the myriad of books that's probably right behind the camera. Actually, it's not probably, it is right behind the camera. But in addition to that, I was able to really leverage all the information that I've learned and actually found applications for it. So in 2021, I decided to go ahead and get my professional engineer's license. I went to the state of Washington and got my systems engineer license, or industrial and system engineer license, just because I've always wanted to. I've always loved the idea of being an engineer, even my thought process behind becoming a naval aviator or a naval flight officer. Eventually, I thought it would go back to the engineering role. I just wanted to really build that whole career path out. And over the last 3 years, I've had the honor of completing my doctorate in engineering. So specifically in engineering management. Now, what is that? It's basically a lot of stats, a lot of probability, and then also looking at how you can apply all the information you can gather from forecasting or data analysis to make a decision. So sense making, decision making. But one of the things I want to do is make sure that I shared some of the things behind why I'm doing this, as well as how I can potentially add value to your life. So all those experiences I've gone through, I'd like to share at least nuggets of them and find all the different ways that I've learned and found ways that I can talk to people. With that being said, short video, I know. I think this one's more about consistency, looking more at the engagement between me and the audience. And hope you liked it. Oh wait, I have to use my tagline. If you're interested in more videos, there should be a link either over there or over there. But either way, so until next time, keep creating, keep sharing, and stay inspired. Thanks.